specialist injury in the middle of a game, but I know you guys, I'm sure, prepped for it. So kind of what's going through your mind when something like that happens with Blake?
All the contingency plans. I mean, who's going to punt? Who's going to hold? Can he hold? Can he punt? And then all the situational things that go along with it. You know, there's some things that could come up that didn't, but you're just trying to go through the mental checklist and make sure that at least going on the field that we have a plan and try and execute it.
Do you, when you have to send out a backup punter in that situation, is the protection different, like in terms of whatever? I don't know if like he has to, it takes him longer to get off the punt or whatever it might be. Do you have to change any of that stuff?
It depends on the player. For Chad, no. There are some things relative to how a guy may punt that you may have to adjust stuff. I do think you've got to adjust things if something happens to your snapper. I do think you got to adjust some things if something happens to your kicker in the kicker operation. But just straight punting, you know, you'd love to have the guy hit a 60-yard, 5-second hang. Like, that's not realistic, right? Like, it's just handle the situation. If the ball goes, you know, forward and we get out of the play, and, you know, I think Chad was close, if not achieved a 40 net, you're going to take that every time. I will.
With Chad's, you know, missed field goals, you said last week there was something you had identified. Was that the same issue this week, or was it a new thing that popped up?
There's different things that can pop up. You know, what happened in the game is not the same issue. You know, it's unfortunate because if the ball's 3 inches to the right, you know, it hits and goes in. But yeah, I mean, just trying to be good all the time and correct the things that show up.
Does having the extra responsibility of the punting, does that play into, you know, the field goal tries after, or any of those?
Not in the moment, I don't think. I think that sometimes you got to be careful if you have a punter that kicks off, or preparing so much for your contingency plans that, you know, your backup kicker's hitting a bunch of kicks throughout the week. Like, those are different leg swings. There's a finite amount of things that you can ask players to do, and I don't think in that moment it affected anything.
How were the holds after that happened?
Normal, good, yeah.